Hey everybody, how you doing? My name's Maddie and today I'm doing a requested video. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I got a request. Just a little excited. But yeah, today I'm doing a story time video as requested by Northern Muscle. We have been communicating back and forth and I requested for him to do one, and so he returned the favor and asked me if I would share with you guys some of my... Actually, he gave me two options to share. He said it'd be really interesting if I shared with you guys either some of my most embarrassing moments or any like near-death experiences. And let me just say, I'm like a safe person. I don't like do things that require near death, nor have I ever been near death. And also I have so many embarrassing moments on a day-to-day basis that I can't just pick out one. So I'm gonna kind of mesh them all together and I'm just gonna share with you guys my top compilations of just like bad luck Maddie moments, because I have I have the worst luck. I guess we'll go on like the topic of injuries and how I stupidly got injured doing something, you know, but it's kind of a weird... I'll just tell you guys the story. So when I was younger, I was in gymnastics and they have this thing called open gym on Sundays where anybody can go and work out, do routines, mess around in the trampolines, whatever. You don't have to be a gymnast to come on open gym nights. But my coach was trying to work with me on some of my floor routine moves. And so I was on the floor as a gymnast doing back handsprings, back flips, all that kind of stuff that I can't do anymore, but it's totally fine. There is a group of 16-year-olds. I specifically remember their age because I thought this was actually kind of funny. But yeah, they were just playing frisbee over at the side of the floor. Not in my way, I was not in their way, so, you know, we thought we were good. By the way, I am a like 10-year-old at this moment. Keep that in mind too. I'm doing my routine, doing my tricks, and I get to the end, and the end of my routine was a round off back handspring. And so I'm about to go do this trick, and at the same time the 16-year-olds wildly threw their frisbee and it landed on the floor that I was working out on. And so you know how your parents teach you when you're like 5 years old that you're supposed to look both ways before you cross the street or like anything dangerous? Well, I guess the 16-year-old did not have that sense because he just ran right onto the middle of the floor right when I'm doing my round off back handspring. And guess what? I kicked him in the face. I was like upside down when we connected and my shins smacked him so hard in the face that I knocked out his two front teeth, I broke his nose, and I gave him a concussion. A little 10-year-old did that to a 16-year-old. Like, gymnastics is no joke. When you're flipping in the air, like, you can't stop yourself. And so, yeah, everybody came rushing to my aid, though. Nobody cared about this boy passed out on the floor because I'm like a little 10-year-old, like, ow. By the way, yeah, his teeth, they went into my shin. Since that day, I have had an indent where his tooth went in and took a chunk of my shin out. Very painful. It was... But it's funny because when he woke up, they made him apologize to me before getting on the ambulance. Like, I hurt this dude and he had to apologize to me, so, you know. But yeah, kind of embarrassing moment, like, hey guys, I knocked someone out doing my routine. What's up? And then we're gonna talk about... Yeah, so that's my bad luck when it comes to just like doing anything like that would happen to me. But now we're gonna talk about the topic that has given me the most bad luck in my life. And that, my friends, would be cars. Huh. I have horrible luck with cars. horrible. I am currently on my third car. My first car, I actually had this one for a while, and I don't know how, because it was like so old and like it should have died a long time ago, but I just kept it running. It was an old Buick. It was like in 1997. I got it when I turned 16. It was from my grandma. She's so sweet for letting me use it. And it made the trip with me all the way to Georgia my senior year. And that's when everything kind of like went to crap with that car. The engine would go out all the time. The transmission, I had to fix that. Oh, and it like died. You know, the car battery. I had to buy 3 batteries for that car. I learned how to use electric cables to jumpstart a car, which I had no clue how to do that before that car, but thank God I do now. But anyways, what is the real bad luck is my roommate texted me, and she had just gotten done with one of her midterms, and the bus wasn't coming for another hour, so she asked if I could pick her up, and I said yes. So I'm on my way to go pick someone up, and I'm at a stoplight, and when it turns green, all of a sudden I just hear this giant boom, and I'm like, okay. And then after that, like, I couldn't steer my car, and it was like shaking and rattling, and I was so terrified. And I was on campus, and there was not a lot of places to pull over, so I finally to turn the wheels on this car, I was like, you know, like shoving it over. It turned out that the engine had completely rusted out and dropped out of the car. Like, of course that would happen to me. But then come along to my second car, had a little Chevy Impala for a year. A single year. This car had brake troubles for like the past 3 months. I took it to a mechanic 3 times. Every single one of them told me, like, they test drove it and told me I was imagining it. Like, there's nothing wrong with the brakes. But every time I would drive somewhere, it'd be fine for like half the time, and then all of a sudden I'd go to stop and it would just like would not stop, and I would have to press it and pump the brakes, you know? And so it was really always freaking me out. But when you go to 3 mechanics and they all tell you that there's nothing wrong, you're kind of just like, huh, wow, I must be over exaggerating. Well, I didn't. I was dropping my little cousin off to his friend's house, and on the way home I turned left out of a neighborhood, and there's 2 cars in front of me, and there was a car behind me, and they were going like a lot faster than the speed limit. So I was checking my rear view mirror to make sure he was not going to rear end me. But when I'm looking back, the 2 cars in front of me like dead halt stop, because one of the cars was going to turn right and they didn't put on their blinker, and so they just stopped out of nowhere to turn, and so that caused the car behind them to stop suddenly. And I'm still checking out the guy, like making sure he's not gonna hit me. And by the time I look forward and I see that they're all stopped, I slam on my brakes, and of course my brakes did not work, which I know everybody says, but this was a real thing. Like, I will show you my receipts for those car visits. Like, I know, like, I checked these. I got the brake fluids refilled 3 separate times because that's all they told me they could do. But yeah, I crashed into the people in front of me, and totaled my car. So, which is ironic because their car was totally fine. Like, maybe a tiny little scratch. Done. Mine, that's where I got this scar, actually. You can see it right here. Yeah. It's from, you know, all up in my face. But yeah, I guess if we're on the topic of scars, I have this, which is misinterpreted by a lot of people. I actually, bad luck, Maddie, I was in gymnastics for like 10 years, and throughout all these years, this wrist would always hurt, and it would make, my arms were always very weak. Like when you would do vaults and back handsprings, I would never know it, but my coaches would always tell me, your arms are not straight, like you're going to break your head if you don't straighten your arms. And I had no clue how to fix it because, you know, like, I work out, I was very strong. I was better at conditioning than the actual gymnastics aspect of the sport. So if that tells you anything, like, I worked out my arms a lot. They should have been strong. But yeah, to sum it up, I went to the doctor and it turns out I had an extra muscle and then 3 ganglion cysts. Ganglion? I don't know. But yeah, I had 3 cysts underneath it and they were all pressing on my nerves so much that the doctor said if I hadn't gotten it checked out, I would have lost all feeling in this hand. That's, you know, great luck right there. Woo! Last story, it kind of doesn't have anything to do with any of these things, but I just think it's funny because, of course, this would happen to me. But when I was younger, I would go camping with my family every single weekend. And so I don't remember exactly what campground this was, but I remember I was with my friend. We're gonna call her Jay. Me and Jay, we're like little, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12-year-old range, in that age range. It was back when I did gymnastics. And yeah, we're just playing on the playground at the campsite, doing our own thing. Parents aren't there. They were never like around when you're playing, you know what I mean? They just let you roam, do whatever. Me and Jay are the only 2 people playing on this playground. Like, nobody else is around. And so we're just having our own fun time. And then this guy walks up to us and he's probably like in his 30s. I just remember he was wearing a baseball cap and he had like really baggy clothes and we were both kind of like, why are you talking to us? And so eventually he comes like and he asks us to help him look for his dog. He's like, oh yeah, I lost her earlier this morning and I can't find her. Will you come help me? I'm obsessed with animals. So of course I was like, heck yeah, let's go find your dog. And then Jay kind of taps me on the shoulder when he like gets out of earshot and she's like, I think we should leave. And I was like, what? Why? We're looking for dogs, right? And she's like, no, like, I don't feel comfortable with this. Can we go back to your campsite? And so we do. And never see this guy again. This campsite was not very populated. We never saw him again. And we told my dad, and my dad flipped out. Apparently, they had been warned when we came to the campsite that there was like an ex, like, I can't remember what it was, like, either he had escaped from like his parole or something like that in the area. When we checked in, the people like warned parents about it because, you know, it's kind of like sketchy. And so my dad was like, it's the kidnapper. He's coming to kidnap my daughter and his friends. I'm gonna go kick his ass. And so my dad walked around this entire campsite with us, like pointing out guys and being like, is that him? Is that him? Is that him? And we're like, no, he's not here anymore. So yeah, could have gotten kidnapped because I'm gullible for puppies, basically. Bad luck, Maddie. So yes, those are my little story times. I was not 100% sure what to talk about, so that's why they're kind of like eclectic, but these are just like my top moments in life where I was just like, wow, mind blown, you know? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed them and found them as funny as I do now. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below if you ever want any more story times and what topics you'd like them to be about. But besides that, thank you guys so much. I have almost had 400 subscribers and that's so I just want to thank everybody who like truly watches my videos and comments and interacts with me. Y'all make this so much fun and I can't even describe it. Like, this is like what I want to do. So thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!